The biting November wind clawed at the walls of Blackwood Manor, moaning through the cracks of its centuries-old stone. Inside, shadows trembled along the candlelit hallways, and the echo of footsteps whispered of the dead who never left. Inspector Davies stood in the great hall, his coat damp with rain, his face pale from more than just the cold. Another body, another cryptic note, another victim claimed by what the locals now called the Phantom of Blackwood. 3 deaths in as many weeks. First, Lord Ashworth, the manor's owner, found slumped over his desk, a quill still in his hand. Then Lady Eleanor, discovered in the rose garden, a thorn embedded cruelly in her throat. And now Mr. Silas Blackwood, the family solicitor, lifeless in the library, a volume of Dante's Inferno open beside him. Each victim had been found with a small folded parchment, covered in strange symbols, a code no one could read. "Anything new, Sergeant?" Davies asked. Sergeant Miller shook his head. "Nothing, sir. No struggle. Just the message. We've run it through every cipher, every ancient text. Still nothing." Davies rubbed his temple. He'd seen madness before, but this felt like something older, something patient. He turned toward the window, the silhouette of the manor's twisted oaks standing like watchful sentinels. "Get me Dr. Evelyn Reed," he said. "Tell her we need her here, now." The following afternoon, a black car pulled up the manor's drive. Out stepped Dr. Evelyn Reed, tall, sharp-eyed, her tweed coat fluttering like a banner of calm defiance against the storm. She was a cryptographer, one of the best, the kind of woman who saw meaning in chaos. Davies met her at the door. "Dr. Reed, thank you for coming. You've read the reports?" "Yes," she said. "The symbols intrigue me and frighten me a little. Show me the messages." The library smelled of dust and death. Shelves stretched into darkness, and the body of Silas Blackwood had already been taken away, but the air still felt occupied. Evelyn examined the parchment, her eyes flicking over each strange mark. Not Greek, not Latin, something geometric, almost musical. For hours she worked, surrounded by candlelight and stacks of forgotten tomes. Davies and Miller watched from the doorway, their faces painted with fatigue. Night bled into day, and Evelyn didn't sleep. Only the soft scratching of her pen filled the manor, a lonely sound in the dead hours of the morning. At last she looked up, her eyes bright with revelation. "I think I've cracked it." The cipher wasn't a language. It was music. Each symbol a note, a distorted version of an ancient Gregorian chant. She laid out the 3 parchments side by side. "The first piece, found with Lord Ashworth, speaks of betrayal," she said. "The second, with Lady Eleanor, of poison. And the third, judgment. Together, they form a chant. And the chant is a directive. A directive for what?" Davies asked. "For revenge." She paused, tracing one mark with her fingertip. "There will be a 4th victim," she whispered. "The next note points to the church." The church sat at the edge of the estate, swallowed by fog. Inside, the air was colder, heavy with incense and something sour beneath it. "Father?" Davies called. No answer. They moved closer. The priest lay motionless, a single parchment at his side. Evelyn picked it up. "This one's different," she murmured. "It's addressed to us." The church doors slammed shut, echoing through the nave. Darkness swallowed the aisles. From the shadows, a figure emerged, cloaked, hooded, a blade glinting in its hand. "The song must end where it began," the figure rasped. Davies drew his revolver, dropped the weapon, but the figure lunged. The struggle that followed was chaos. Miller tackled the attacker, and together they fought until the hood tore away. Mrs. Abernathy, the manor's aging housekeeper, her face was pale, streaked with tears and fury. "You," Evelyn breathed. Mrs. Abernathy's voice trembled, but her eyes burned with centuries of hate. My family was cast out, branded as heretics by the Blackwoods. They took our land, our name. But the chant, our chant, remembered, and I only followed its call. A low sound filled the air, not from her lips, but from the walls. A faint chant, echoing, pulsing with a rhythm older than the church itself. Mrs. Abernathy smiled through her tears. "The curse never left this place," she said. "It only needed a voice. Before they could stop her, she turned the blade on herself." Her blood splashed across the altar, and the chant fell silent. For a long moment, no one moved. Then the bell above the church tolled once. Hours later, the manor stood in uneasy stillness. The bodies were gone. The case closed, at least on paper. Davies sat by the fire, his face drawn. Across from him, Evelyn stared at the parchments spread across the table. "I destroyed the chant's translation," she said softly. "But there's something strange about the parchment's texture. It isn't paper. It's skin." The fire crackled. From somewhere deep within the manor came a faint hum, a single note. Davies turned. "Do you hear that?" Evelyn didn't answer. Her gaze was fixed on the grand staircase. A shadow lingered there, still and tall, as though listening. A whisper brushed the air. Judgment. Davies spun, but the hall was empty. Evelyn stood, gathering her coat. "Curses like this don't die," she said quietly. "They adapt."